Welcome to the Allen's Training video series. This video outlines the course delivery and submission process with Allen's Training. There are a number of issues that can delay the processing of your courses, and this video will highlight the most common issues and how you can prevent them from occurring in your courses. Prior to the course, please ensure you review the student information for each course prior to the schedule and delivery of the training to ensure you allow the correct time frame. If your course duration does not meet the required time frame, you need to supply detailed comments when entering the course information to explain the reason. For example, if the course was delivered as a one-on-one course, then you would state this in your comments and that the student was able to reach competency in the shorter time frame. Student ID and enrollment forms. When students arrive to the course, you need to cite their photographic ID and ensure that the student has written their full legal name on the enrollment form. The student details that are provided on the enrollment form is required information for regulatory purposes. It is essential that the student complete this accurately. The students must complete the correct enrollment form and assessment according to the course they are enrolled in. This is because the certificates are issued according to the assessment paperwork that the student has completed. Under no circumstances are enrollment forms to be swapped. Course folder and risk assessment. The course folder is part of the course submission and must be completed at the course and submitted to Allen's Training. The student must write their name and sign the Allen's Training course folder at the beginning of the session. This acts as both an attendance sheet and is also evidence of the student agreeing that they have read and understood their student rights and responsibilities of completing the course through Allen's Training. The other page of the course folder is a work health and safety risk assessment that must be completed on the training room before the course commences. This is to be completed regardless if the course is being conducted at your regular training room or at another venue. This risk assessment is to evaluate the training environment and ensure it is a safe training venue for both you and the students. Activities. There are activities in some courses that may be completed as group activities. Risk assessments, first aid report forms and incident reports are all examples of assessment activities. Any activities that are completed as a group, each student will still be required to complete the documentation of the activity in their own assessment paperwork. Some of the practical activities in the course will require a certain level of physical ability in order to complete them. Before you make any adjustments to the way a practical activity is conducted, you must first check that any adjustments are in line with the training packages. For example, CPR, which must be demonstrated on a mannequin placed on the floor, can no longer be adjusted to be demonstrated on a table due to training package requirements. Exams. Each course will have its own written assessment requirements. Short answer questions and/or multiple choice questions are the most common forms and can be completed as pre-course study for some course types. To view the written assessment requirements for each course, you should refer to the assessor guide for that course. These are available from our website. Every student must complete the full written assessment requirements for the course they are completing and obtain 100% in order to be issued a certificate. Assessor comments. The assessment paperwork provided for each course will include sections for the practical scenarios. As the assessor, you will be required to make comments in regards to each student's performance for each of the practical tasks. These comments are evidence of your decision to deem each student competent and its regulatory requirement to be completed. Examples of the detail required in assessor comments could be good bandaging skills, no correction required, or student required correction on first attempt but demonstrated good hand placement and depth on the second attempt. These would be relevant to the student's performance and provide evidence of your judgment. This means that all sections that have spaces or boxes for assessor comments must be completed for every student. The same applies for any fields that require tick boxes or other information entered into them, such as date, name, and signature of the assessor. All fields must be completed on every student's enrolment form in order for a certificate to be issued. Checking paperwork. We often receive paperwork with some of the student section incomplete. Once you have completed the course delivery, we suggest that you check through the paperwork before the student leaves the classroom. This will ensure you have the required information for each student before they leave the venue. Before you submit the paperwork to Alan's training, we ask you to check over the paperwork to ensure all the required information has been completed and all the pages have been scanned, ready for processing. This avoids processing delays and ensures your courses are processed in a timely manner. One method of checking the number of pages is to multiply the number of students by the number of pages in the assessment. For example, 10 students with a 5-page assessment should be a 50-page scan. Course submission timeframe. One of the requirements as an Alan's training partner and trainer is to ensure all course material are submitted to us within 7 days of the course being delivered. If you are unable to meet this requirement, we ask you to communicate this to the certificate production team via email, courses@alanstraining.com.au. Data entry of the course. Now that you've finished delivering the course and checked the paperwork for completeness, you are ready to enter it into our online system. The process for completing this will depend on whether you've used the pre-registration and an electronic enrollment forms or whether you've used the paper-based options. In order to assist you with this process, we have created some detailed instruction guides which can be found on our website. If you use the pre-registration system and one of your invited students did not attend the course, you should change their result to did not attend during the data entry of the course. What is entered into the system is what will print on the student certificate, so it is really important that mistakes are not made during the data entry process. Students that are not yet competent do not get entered into the system, however a note should be left in the comment section of the course. Communication. As we have a large number of trainers teaching for Alan's training, certificate production find that email the most appropriate method to communicate any issues or follow up with inquiries with you. It is essential you monitor your emails and the course until it has been processed. When entering the course, there is a comment box available to you. You should use this to advise Alans of any relevant information to the course. Thank you for watching this presentation. We hope it provides you with some good tips and fast processing of your courses. Remember, clear communication is the key to promoting strong partnerships. We look forward to working with you.